class. But I also ask you to go and give this question a try. Right? How many to try it? Yes? Okay. So let's go through the answer. Okay. Now, whenever we have fractions, okay, and we want to solve equations that involve fractions, we try to have the lowest common multiple in the denominator before we do any cross multiplication, right? So in this case, basically on observing the denominators that we have, we realize that they are distinct factors, they are all different, there is no common factor amongst them, okay? Because when they are common factors, for example, we saw the one where there's n minus 1 squared versus n minus 1, okay, we will go for a denominator that is n minus 1 squared, right? That was what we saw. Okay, but in this case with x, x minus 1 and x plus 1, there's nothing in common in terms of these factors. So the lowest common multiple that we will go for will be x, x minus 1 and x plus 1. Okay. You may want to combine everything. Still a promotion at the back. You ready to start class? Okay. So we can combine the three fractions into a single fraction with the same denominator. Okay, whereby our numerator over here for 1 we need to multiply with the two other factors. And then 2 we need to multiply with x and x plus 1. And 3 to multiply with x and x minus 1. Okay, you may have expressed it in 3 distinct fractions, that's fine. Okay, but you could also combine it into a single fraction like that. Okay, then after that we will expand the numerator. So I hope you are able to realize that x minus 1, x plus 1 is your a minus b, a plus b. Okay, so that will give us a squared minus b squared, so that's x squared minus 1. Followed by 2x squared plus 2x. Followed by 3x squared minus 3x. Okay, you may wish to already do your cross multiplication, just that we got to be very careful over here. Okay, because there is this high tendency that when you cross multiply, you keep thinking about bringing things over, and then you accidentally write it as x times x minus 1 times x plus 1 onto the right hand side. Okay, when you cross multiply. Alright, and that is because of your misconception to always think about bringing things over. Okay, you must remember we're cross multiplying, so we're taking 0 to multiply by the denominator here. So 0 times anything is 0. Okay? Right, so be wary about what you're writing and how you're calculating. Then after that we simplify the left. Okay, so we will get 3, 4, 5, 6x squared. Followed by negative x minus 1. Okay. Right. So in this particular case, we can actually factorize it if you can realize it. Otherwise, you can of course use the formula. So whichever method you choose to do, you must show that step, show that working. So if you're doing the factorization method, you have to show me the factors. Okay. Otherwise, if you use the formula, you got to show me the step involving the formula. Then we will be able to get the answer of x equals to negative 1/3 or x equals to half. Yes?
Then why isn't the denominator I can do that in that step?
You cannot do that, yes I can. Yeah, so from here denominator, because I concurrently already did my cross multiplication. While I expand the numerator, I also cross multiply. Yeah. You can write the denominator, not an issue. Because after you cross multiply, what is it that you get? Just the numerator, right? So I just did a few things together in one step. Understand where I'm going? Understand all? Questions? Okay. Now let's do one last question, part C, to wrap up this topic. Okay. We have 3 over x minus 3 plus x plus 1 over x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals to 1. Alright? So we are constantly looking for a denominator that is the lowest common multiple. But we got to always check whether the denominators have any common factors or not. Okay? So in this case, we are given a quadratic factor, or rather quadratic denominator, x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay? We try to see that it is actually factorizable. Such that we have x minus 3 times x minus 2. Okay? I won't do my cross method working anymore. Yeah? Okay, so I take it that on your own. Right? So at this stage, upon factorization, we see that there is actually a common factor of x minus 3. Hence, the lowest common multiple that we should get for denominator will be x minus 3 times x minus 2. Such that this 3 over here, we need to multiply with x minus 2, then plus x plus 1. It may be a good idea that when there is no change in the denominator, we put brackets around the numerator, just in case there's a minus sign outside. Okay? Because when there's a minus sign outside, the operations inside what will happen? It will change, right? Okay? So having brackets here might be good to remind yourself. So we expand the numerator. Okay. Followed by doing the cross multiplication. I also expanded the denominator. So when I do my cross multiplication, I get x squared minus 5x equals 6. To the right hand side. Then the rest of it is about simplifying into a quadratic equation. Square minus 9x. exercise 1B is set of questions. Okay, on practice. So due on Monday and okay, Monday and okay, next we're going to do graphs. Okay, I know that it can be a pain, but it's actually also the easiest one to get marks in.
好的。
know the graph shapes first, right? So that we can be aware about the accuracy of our graphs, whether we are even drawing the correct shape or not. Okay. So whenever we want to draw a graph, let's say I give this graph an equation. I'm not sure whether it's accurate or not. Okay, 2x squared plus 5x minus 1. Okay. Just an example. What if I want to solve the equation 2x squared plus 5x minus 1 equals to 0? Okay, what does this statement actually mean? This is the graph for this equation, okay, and then after I want to solve this equation, right? What does this equation here really mean in relation to the function? Okay, it's the point. So in order to solve this, okay, the x-intercept, that means the points when it passes through the x-axis, okay, it will give us a solution to this equation here. Why? Because this tells us here that y is equals to 0. And when it's y equals to 0, it is at these 2 points. Okay, because this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, now it's 0. Yes. Okay, so the x-coordinate of the 2 points, okay, it will actually be the solution to this equation. Understand? Okay, so that is what we're going to do. Right? So I have kind of expanded or adapted from your textbook question, okay, based on the worksheet that I've just given to you. Okay, so what I want you to do now is to draw the graph first. Okay, we have about 15 minutes. If you don't have your graph paper, you don't have your tools with you, I have brought some. Okay, so you come up front to take graph paper or the tools that you need. Okay, curve ruler, long ruler, as you find it here. So I want you to draw the 2 graphs. Okay. That's later in the worksheet.